without much ado, we invite Dr. SAS Sarma, and he'll be talking about Nandi in Saiva literature, depictions, roles, iconography, and worship.
Agnirnappatu krittikaah nakshatram devamindriyam idamasam vichakshanam havirasanjuhodana yasya bhanti rashmayo yasya ketavah yasyema vishwa bhuvanani sarva sakrittikabhirabhisamvasanah agnirno devassu videdadhatu योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं. Suprabhadam and good morning to all. So without any further introduction, let me go to the topic. You are seeing more, but you may be listening more because I work more with the text. As Ganeshan sir was telling, we have enormous literature available, but we could explore only very few texts. So I have been trying to choose what I should say. Now again I will have to choose from what I have prepared. So let me try to brief and present only what is very essential. As you know, to begin with, you know that Kalidasa, he himself, in his Kumara Sambhava, there's a beautiful, interesting verse. So you can see Nandi Vama Pragoshtarpita Hemavatraha. So he stands as a guardian there. So we see it, so you can imagine the period. So from very early period in a literary piece itself, we get, and there the commentator, who is one of the earliest commentator, you can see Ladagriha Dara Pravesha Avastitaha Pradiharatvat. So he makes it very clear. It is previous one, please. There is some. Okay. So could you go to the previous one? Maybe I'll have to tell that. I think there is some technical. How should I handle it? Can you go to the previous page?
पीछे वाला slide दिखाइए.
Huh? Oh my God. It's a PDF, no? So you put it.
Actually, it can be done. As he rightly said, now the screen is the Zoom screen.
You go to the PDF just.
PDF only. ये आपको ये change करना पड़ेगा उधर.
You stop sharing in the Zoom and then do it.
Yeah, you can.
Sorry. So we see there that the Kalidasa mentions Nandi as a doorkeeper already. Then when the ritual starts, we don't see him as in the Agama literature or in the ritual literature. I think, yes, yeah. Now it seems to go on. So this Nishwasa, one of the earlier texts, there we find him, usually we find Nandi as one of the Avarana Devada or in his retinue. But here we see him not as a Avarana Devada, but as one of the Ganas it is mentioning. And each Gana are having some responsibilities. In the Nishwasa Naya Sutra, we find an account of 7 Ganapashas that are connected with the 7 Ganas, and these Ganapashas are obligations that bind these 7 Ganas. In that, the Nandi gets this role. As you see, Parivartayadi yastantram Pashujnanena mohitaha Nandir Badhradi Vaishighram. So you cannot deteriorate the Tantra text. If somebody is doing or if somebody is not following strictly that, Nandi can punish. So that sort of responsibility he is having. Moreover, as Ganeshan sir was mentioning about the important text, Shiva Dharma Shastra. So this Shiva Dharma is a corpus having 7 texts. Unfortunately, we have a draft editions or symbol editions of 2 texts. Remaining 5 texts are to be edited, critically edited. You have to imagine how much literature still remains in manuscript. And we have to remember that this Shiva Dharma text is mentioned in more than 30 inscriptions and is having more than 80 manuscripts. Still having with this much treasure, we are still waiting for this text to be published. And as Ganeshan sir was mentioning, this is taught by Nandisha is the teacher of this Shastra, similar to other one. So there you can see, I haven't included in the commentary, there is one for Shiva Dharma, there is a commentary available, Keralian commentary available. There in its introduction it says, Idanim matputraha Sri Sanat Kumaraha Sri Nandikeshwaram prasadedum tabak karodi. Tataha tatra gatva tena saha tabak kuruta. Sri Nandikeshware Sri Sanat Kumaraya Shiva Dharma Shastram Samupadishati Sadi. Tat sakashat 𝐿𝐬𝐬𝐸𝐴 sroshyatha idi. So if you go, Nandikeshwara is going to teach the Shiva Dharma. If you go, you can also learn. So there, Nandikeshwara himself is teaching the Shiva Dharma Shastra, which is one of the very important text. But the Mrigendra Agama, when it comes to Mrigendra Agama, that enumerates Nandi as one of the Avarana Devada. You can see here, Vidyeshwara Avarana Pujartham Tad Dhyanam Abhidadu Maha. So there we find that Gana Nandi Mahakala Gajavaktra Vrishavalaha Evam Dvidiyavarane. So the commentator clearly mentions what is the position of Nandi in that Avarana Puja. Though I wanted to examine how the Brahmashambhu Paddhati places Nandi, I was unable to do so as this portion is missing in the only available manuscript of the Brahmashambhu Paddhati, a 9th century Saiva Paddhati material. Now I am moving to the Saiva Paddhatis. So Brahmashambhu Paddhati is one of the 9th century earliest Saiva Paddhati, but unfortunately when I was checking in the Nitya Puja section, that particular part is missing, that folio is missing. So I don't know what is the position of Nandi in Brahmashambhu Paddhati. But whereas generally the Saiva Paddhatis, now from Mrigendra Agama, when we move to the Paddhatis, there we find Nandi as the doorkeeper. So Bhoja Paddhati, for example, says Nandi Gange Mahakala Yamune Atmano Dakshinavamayoho So Namna Hridayadyena Sambhujya. It makes it clear that Nandi now is getting a position in its doorsteps. The Somashambhu Paddhati of the 11th century too places him on the doors. So now when it comes to Paddhati text, you should not imagine a huge temple there. Usually the temples there are built inside a monastery. This is an example for that. You can see what is the temple here. This is called as a Vyakhyana Mandapa, and this is the Shiva Dharmottara text that mentions of the such temples, and this is the commentary that makes it very clear. You can see Vadabhi Griham, that is Valabhi Griham Kudagaram Griham Ityartaha Tribhauma Pakshedu. What you see is Tribhauma Paksha Pradamat Purad Urdhvam Vyakhyana Mandavam Dvidiyad Urdhvam Valabhi Griham Iti Drashtavyam. So this is the temple. We should not imagine a huge temple. This is a small temple built inside the monastery. In such a temple, how the worship is done, let us see. We will move to Somashambhu Paddhati. So when it comes to Somashambhu Paddhati, here is the text portion. So you can see Om Ham Nandine Namaha. The previous one you can see Iti Urdhvad Dumbare. Then comes the Nandine. So here in the commentary we get a clear picture. Nandi Gange Mahakala Yamunesha Atmano Dakshina Vamashakayoho Idi. Then it gives a detailed description of how the visualization. You see how they are respecting their Guru. Here the Trilojana Shiva, the commentator, is giving a verse here mentioning Asmad Guru Bihi. You see here, he is Aghora Shivacharya, and in his Panchavarana Stava, we get a detailed description of all these Dwara Devadas in detail. Now here you can see this Panchavarana Stava, I am mentioning it here. This is the text, and this is a Nandi form. I am going to explain it very soon. And you can see how in doorstep they are distributed. You can see Ganga, Yamuna, etc. and also Nandi here. So in the doorstep they are worshipped. Now there is a very interesting text. We have Sthapatis and art historians. So we have a text called Pradima Lakshana Sara Sangraha. So this 11th century manuscript is in its 6th chapter is giving beautiful line drawings also of each visualization. There are 274 line drawings. So in that Chandesha is given in the line drawing here. Yuva Traksho, Jada Chiro, Rektakayo, Dibhahukaha, Sakshamali Trishulicha, Nandisho, Dwarapalakaha. So while this verse is given, underneath you can see the beautiful line drawing provided. This is of 11th century Pradishta Lakshana Sarasamuchaya manuscript available in Kathmandu. So we have so much materials with us. Now I move to Agamas also. So when it comes to Ajidagama also, we see him in the door steps. And now installations of doorkeepers. So how to install? So little bit of ritual related matter. So there we see Dwarabaladi Namani, Sthanani, Sthabanani cha. So in the Gobura, how they are to be installed, we get a detailed description in the text. So Chadurdwareshu Samkshepat Vakshyami Shrunute Ruro. So this is the Rauravotara Agama that gives a detailed description. It is not just worship, it is how to be. The installation procedure also, it is giving Mahanandi Mahakalo Purvadwarasya Palago. So we get 2 units of each that are to be installed on the 4 sides of the Gopuras. So Purvadwarasya Dakshinyam Mahanandim Pragalpayet, where the Nandi is to be installed. So these are some of the other Nandi forms also. Just I was showing, you can see Nandi having face of monkey also. Then as the doorkeeper, we also see Nandi's great involvement in the initiation ceremony of the Rudra Ganigas. This is very important, which is not much known. So in the Kamika Agama, Uttara Kamika Agama, chapter 73, the origin of Rudra Ganigas is described, and there Shiva initiates the Rudra Ganigas to Shuddha Nritta, and Nandi further initiates them by touching their heads with a stick. So it is the Nandi who initiates the Rudra Ganika. Maya Tushtena Tatsarva Dikshida Khalu Ahuya Nandinam Tasya Chadaya Karadhajam Vetram Tasmat Shirasyasam Sprittani Dvijasattamaha. During the initiation process, the priest invites the Rudra Ganikas onto the mandapa and sprinkles water onto them from a conch. In front of the Nataraja, a small area is cleared while reciting the Panchakshara mantras, and a seat, asana, is offered with the Pranava mantras. After cleaning with water, a bamboo stick is placed there with its edges facing east or north. Nandi is then venerated on the stick with the sandal paste flowers, etc. by the Acharya, who is dressed in new clothes, etc. Samstapya vetram purvagram uttaragram athapiva nandinam tatra sambhujya gandha pushpadibir guruhu. Thereafter, he or his assistant takes the bamboo stick and touches the Rudraganika's body parts, beginning with the head. Then he places the Panchakshara mantra upon their heads. These are meant for Rudraganikas. That is the temple dancers. The stick should be then put back and worshipped. The Acharya, this is very interesting, the Acharya gives the Rudraganika a new name starting with Nanda, followed by a middle name ending with Dandini. Now, let us now see how Nandi is represented in the Kashmirian Saiva system along with his form known as Nandi Rudra. According to Neelamata Purana of Kashmir, Nandi Rudra, after performing long penances in the icy waters of Uttaramanasa lake, was rewarded by being incorporated into Bhudeshwara and Nandikshetra at Nandikshetra, located below Mount Haramukh and near the lake. He became Bhudeshwara's western form, Paschima Murtihi, depicted as an adosed figure facing the rear. The unpublished Sarvavatara, one of the few surviving texts celebrating the sacred sites of Kashmir, elaborates on its iconography in its account of Nandikshetra in Nandikshetra Mahatmya. It describes Bhudeshwara as a four-faced image. Srikanda faces east at the front, Mahakala Bhairava faces south on the right, Devi faces north on the left, and Nandirudra faces west at the rear. So Nandi is getting a face incorporated with him who is having four faces. So in his Sadashiva, in his rear face, Nandi is installed. Then Cambodia and Nandin. I am having some difficulty with the slides. although several inscriptions from Cambodia mention the installation of Sadashiva along with his Ganas, including Nandi, for instance, K300 inscription, Umaya Sahitam Punaha, Nandinam Kalasamyuktam, Haima Shringairiva Vrisham. So this is from the inscription 300. But a noteworthy inscription, that is of K256 of Cambodia, reveals Nandi serving as the guardian of a Vishnu temple. This temple was installed by Narayana, a Bhagavata, during Jayavarman V. So we not only see Nandi installed in Shiva temple, but according to the inscription K256 of Cambodia, Nandinam Sri Mahakalam Dwarastham Vishnor Vidhaya Yaha. So he is having installed Nandi as guardian for a Vishnu temple also. This is very interesting that we get this information from a Cambodian inscription K256. We also know of Cambodian temples depicting Nandi as a musician. So I have one slide. Yes, this is the one. These are all just door keepers, especially in the Gobura style. And this is the Sadashiva that given in the Lakshmana Samuchaya, you get exactly such a Sadashiva. The part which I was telling of Nandi having the rear face, let's say earlier, according to some scholars, they feel that is the earlier version. Then Sadashiva changes to 5 faces, having Brahma Mantras, Vyojada, etc. So before that, it was 4 face and having the rear face of Nandi Rudra. Now we go to Cambodia. You can see here, in this panel, you can see a small here with the mandala being played and drum, and here you can see in the human form itself, Nandi is playing, and this is from the Cambodian temple. Now, while working for this paper, I found, just to mention, there are also texts that are named with the Nandin, and this needs our attention too. Most of them are unpublished. Nandi Shikha Tandra, we don't know. I think thanks to Cha sir, because of that, otherwise I would not have known. So there is a Nandi Shikha Tandra. We may think what it is, but when we check that Abhinav Gupta quotes often, so in his Tandra Loga, this text is being quoted, and this is Nandi Shikha Tandra, which we will have to find or explore now. Similarly, Nandikeshwara Mata, a Pradishta Tandra, which we don't know, quoted by, this is very important, especially for Sthapati who are here, quoted by Vidya Kantha in his Bhava Chudamani commentary on the Maya Sangraha. We know of only Maya Mata only. So before Maya Mata, there is a text called Maya Sangraha. And we have only one single manuscript available for this. And this Maya Sangraha is having a commentary by Vidya Kantha. And in his commentary, he is quoting a text called Nandikeshwara Mata, which we have to find and explore. Similarly, Nandishwara Avatara, a 900 verse redaction of the Saidhantika Nishwasa. This also we have to find. Then there is another text I noticed, Nandi Yamala. Then Nandi Kshetra Mahatmya that I was mentioning. And let me conclude, because we are discussing Nandi and Vrishabha putting together. So it is very evident, though Agama text that I quoted was mostly giving as Gana, but in the famous Kailasanatha temple of early period, 6th to 7th, you can see here Nandi being with the Shiva, this Urdhva position which our friend had shown earlier, and here we see clearly Nandi having a bull face. So somewhere Jha's idea of connecting Nandi and Vrishabha need to be done based on this sculpture at least. Thank you very much, sir, for selecting this topic. This is because when I checked, as Ganeshan sir was mentioning, the only detailed article is of Bhattacharya, and our detailed note on Nandi that comes in the Panchavarana Stava. Apart from that, I was not able to locate easily, but then I went and read Alexis Anderson's articles. I found all these Kashmir related and the connecting Nandi Rudra was available through his writings. Thanks to him also. Thanks to all of you for giving me this chance, and thanks also for listening. Tachamyauravranimahe gatum yajnaya gatum yajnapataye daivi swastirastunaha swastir manushebhyah urdam jigadu bheshajam shanno astu dvipate Sham Chatushpate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you. Thank you very much.